if you're trying to take leave from your employer because of a disability or because of some other kind of health reason, and the employer isn't giving you that leave or is terminating you because of that leave, then what you want to do is talk to a lawyer about that.
Essentially, Georgia does not have maternity leave. However, if you work for a private employer that has more than 50 employees, you could be eligible for maternity leave under the Family Medical Leave Act. There are a couple laws that come into play if an employee has a medical condition and needs to take leave. The two most prevalent ones are the Americans With Disabilities Act or the Family Medical Leave Act. And what both of those do is attempt to dissuade employers from interfering with employees' rights as it relates to leave needed for medical reasons. And usually those two statutes work hand in hand.
Pregnancy itself is not a disability, but if you have any complication related to your pregnancy at all, then that could be considered a disability, and it could be that your time off would be covered under the ADA. So that's another way that you could possibly couch your maternity leave.
The Pregnancy Discrimination Act requires an employer to treat all employees who are pregnant in the same way that they would treat any other non-pregnant employee.
And so if your employer fires you for trying to take that leave and you're entitled to FMLA, that Family Medical Leave Act, then yes, you would have a claim.
But if you don't have FMLA, it just depends. Does your company have a policy on maternity leave? Do they normally give maternity leave to everybody else? If they didn't give maternity leave to you, then is it for one of those protected reasons? Are all the people they gave maternity leave to a different race or a different religion or a different, well, not gender obviously maybe, but the point is the reason that they're treating you differently because of one of those protected issues.
Even if you're not entitled to FMLA, if you get pregnant, you're still entitled to accommodations for that pregnancy. And the company is going to need to ensure that you are protected in that way so that you can take the time that you need in order to have your child and to get the medical care that you need.
Every law is open for interpretation. I think we will always continue to have an open dialogue as to how statutes are interpreted as cases move through the system all the way up through the Supreme Court.
It is in the sense that the devil's in the details. You can speak generally about the law and what it protects and what it doesn't, but when you get into the minutiae of whether your particular situation is going to be protected, all of those laws, there's a huge body, just a massive body of judicial law that determines whether your particular situation is going to be something that you can bring a claim for.